Imagine it's Friday afternoon, right before the busiest shopping weekend of the month. Your marketing team just finalized a massive, high-stakes promotion. The head office hits the publish button, feeling confident. But by Saturday morning, you find out store number 1 is running the new campaign. Store number 12 is still showing last week's expired clearance ads. And 3 screens in your flagship location are completely black. And the worst part? Nobody at headquarters even knew there was a problem.
It sounds like a worst-case scenario, but honestly, for thousands of retailers, that is just a regular Tuesday. Managing digital displays across multiple physical locations has historically been a logistical nightmare. You have different store managers, varying local internet speeds, different types of hardware, and constant promotional changes. It's exactly why the industry has been crying out for a simpler way to manage all this noise, which is the core reason behind the creation of platforms like SUPA Screens.
Right, and that's what we are unpacking today. We're looking at why managing screens has been so unnecessarily complicated, how we can strip away the clunky hardware, and why forward-thinking businesses are starting to look at their in-store screens not just as digital posters, but as a genuine media network. But before we get into the tech itself, I want to go back to the beginning. Where did the spark for this actually come from? Because you didn't start in traditional retail, did you?
No, not at all. Our background is actually in broadcasting. For years, we built systems designed to deliver live television and high-definition video to thousands of viewers simultaneously, without lag, and with absolute reliability. And one day, we looked at the retail sector and realized they were trying to solve the exact same problem. They needed to broadcast specific content to hundreds of different destinations at once. The only difference was that instead of sending a sitcom to someone's living room, they were trying to send a price promotion to a screen next to a clothing rack.
So you essentially looked at a retail store and saw a mini television station.
Exactly. Every storefront, every checkout line, every window display is a channel. But when we looked at the tools retailers were using to manage these channels, we were shocked. They were using clunky media players, cheap HDMI sticks that overheat, or even worse, asking store staff to manually plug in USB drives every Monday morning. It was clear the existing technology wasn't built for the fast-paced retail environment. So we decided to rebuild the architecture from the ground up, using broadcasting principles.
Okay, so let's define what this looks like in practice. If you had to explain the core concept of SUPA Screens to someone who isn't tech-savvy, how do you describe it?
It's a unified cloud platform that lets you control every single digital screen across your entire business network from one single dashboard on your computer.
Simple enough. But if I play devil's advocate here, there are plenty of digital signage companies out there claiming they do cloud management. What makes this approach fundamentally different from the systems we've seen for the last decade?
The biggest differentiator is the complete elimination of proprietary hardware. Traditionally, if you wanted to install digital signage, you had to buy the screen, then buy a mini PC or a specialized media player to bolt onto the back of it, run complex cabling, and hire an IT specialist to configure it all. With SUPA Screens, we've cut out the middleman. There are no media players, no HDMI sticks, and no complicated installations. If your business has a modern smart TV and a Wi-Fi connection, you already have everything you need.
Wait, so you're saying a business doesn't need to buy any extra boxes to plug into the TV? How does the content actually get onto the screen then?
It runs directly through the cloud. Each screen you register is assigned its own unique, secure web stream. You simply open the built-in web browser on your smart TV, enter the URL, link it to your central dashboard once, and that's it. You've turned a standard consumer or commercial television into an intelligent, cloud-managed broadcast node.
That sounds incredibly clean. So if a business wants to scale up and add, say, 50 more screens across 10 new locations, they just buy the TVs, connect them to the internet, and link the streams?
Precisely. It turns deployment from a major capital expense and engineering project into a simple software activation. Because each screen is mapped to a unique stream, you can monitor, update, and troubleshoot every single unit individually from anywhere in the world.
Let's paint a picture of how this actually changes the daily workflow for a company. Let's say we're looking at a national retail brand with 200 stores across the country. Walk me through what a typical week looks like for their operations team.
Sure. Let's start on Monday. The marketing team at head office uploads the new creative assets for the week's campaigns. On Tuesday, the operations manager logs into the dashboard and schedules these campaigns to run at specific times, maybe breakfast promos for the morning crowd and dinner specials for the evening. By Wednesday, regional managers can log in, review what's scheduled for their specific territories, and approve the localized content.
And then Friday comes around.
Right. Friday afternoon, the campaigns are locked in. Head office clicks Publish. By Saturday morning, when the doors open, every single store displays the exact promotions they are supposed to. No one had to send a single email to store managers. No one had to mail out USB drives. And no one had to call around to verify if the screens were actually updated. The system handles the distribution automatically.
I can see how that saves an immense amount of time, but it also seems like it solves a major brand consistency problem. I mean, we've all walked into retail chains where the branding feels completely disconnected from store to store.
Absolutely. Brand integrity is fragile. If a customer walks into a store in Cape Town, they should experience the exact same brand narrative, pricing, and visual quality as a customer walking into a store in Johannesburg or Durban. When you centralize control, you eliminate the human error at the store level. Store managers should be focused on serving customers and managing their staff, not playing IT support with a remote control trying to get a video to loop.
That makes total sense. Now, let's talk about the content itself. One of the things that caught my eye about your platform is that it's not just about playing static video files on a loop. You talk a lot about smart content and database integration. What does that mean in reality?
This is where we move from basic digital signage to intelligent retail tech. Typically, if a retailer wants to change the price of a product on a screen, their design team has to open Photoshop, edit the graphic, export a new video file, and re-upload it. It's incredibly slow and expensive. We built intelligent templates that connect directly to the retailer's live product database or inventory system.
So the screen is actually talking to the inventory system?
Yes, the template is dynamic. If the price of a product changes in your central database, the price on the screen updates in real time, automatically. If a product goes out of stock, the screen can automatically swap that product out for an alternative. You design the template once, and it populates itself with the correct data, images, and pricing based on what's actually happening in your business at that exact moment.
That is a massive shift. It means marketing teams can stop wasting hours on minor text edits and actually focus on strategy and campaign performance.
Exactly. It turns the screen from a static poster into a live reactive data point.
It also changes how the customer interacts with the space. For a long time, digital screens were just passive things you looked at while waiting in line. But now, everyone has a smartphone in their pocket. How does that change the dynamic?
It bridges the gap between the physical and digital shopping experience. By using dynamic QR codes on the screens, you can invite the customer to interact. They see a jacket they like on the screen, scan the QR code, and instantly see if their size is in stock. Or they can purchase it right there on their phone if the store is busy. You can use it to drive loyalty program sign-ups, launch customer feedback surveys, or start a direct customer service chat on WhatsApp. The screen isn't just a broadcast medium anymore. It's an entry point into your digital ecosystem.
It's almost like an offline cookie, tracking and guiding the customer journey from the physical aisle to the digital shopping cart.
That's a great way to put it. It makes physical retail measurable in a way it never was before.
Now, let's dive into what I think is the most disruptive part of this entire concept, the idea of retail media. Most retailers look at their screens as a cost center, something they have to pay for to promote their own goods. But you suggest they should look at them as real estate. Explain that shift in perspective.
This is the biggest trend in global retail right now. Think about it. If you have hundreds of thousands of customers walking through your physical stores every week, you aren't just selling products. You are capturing attention. You own an audience. Brands and suppliers want access to that audience at the exact moment they are making a purchasing decision. By using your screens to display targeted partner advertisements, you are effectively running your own digital advertising network.
So if I run a grocery chain, a beverage brand might pay me to run their ad on my screens right next to the drinks aisle?
Exactly. And because the platform is centralized, you can manage these ad slots just like a professional media agency. You can schedule campaigns, manage advertiser bookings, set up approval workflows so you don't run competing ads, and most importantly, generate detailed playback reports to prove to the advertiser that their ad ran exactly when and where they paid for it.
That completely flips the financial model of digital signage. Instead of a capital expense that slowly depreciates, the screens become a revenue-generating asset.
Absolutely. In many cases, the revenue generated from third-party advertising doesn't just cover the cost of the screens, it turns into a highly profitable new business unit for the retailer.
But to make that work, the operations team needs to have absolute trust that the network is actually running. If an advertiser pays for space and the screen is off, that's a major liability. How does the system give head office that peace of mind?
It comes down to real-time visibility. The dashboard gives you a live health status of your entire fleet. You can see which screens are online, what content is currently playing on them, and even get instant alerts if a screen goes offline or loses its internet connection. Instead of waiting for a store manager to notice a blank screen days later, the system alerts you immediately, allowing you to troubleshoot remotely before it impacts your business or your advertising partners.
It sounds like it brings the level of monitoring we expect from modern software engineering directly into the retail operations space.
That was the goal. If you can't measure it and you can't see it, you can't manage it.
We've talked a lot about retail, but I imagine this technology isn't limited to just shops. Who else is using this kind of setup?
The applications are incredibly broad. Think about quick-service restaurants needing to update menu boards instantly based on the time of day or ingredient availability, or corporate offices managing internal communications across multiple floors or global branches, universities, hospitals, automotive dealerships, banks, essentially any organization that needs to communicate consistent, dynamic information to a physical audience across multiple locations can use this.
It feels like we are looking at a major evolution here. A decade ago, digital signage was a luxury. It was about putting a TV on the wall and playing a video file. Today, it's about real-time information management. And looking forward, it's about businesses realizing they are sitting on valuable media networks.
That's the transition. The screen is no longer just a piece of hardware. It's a portal. And the businesses that realize this first, those who simplify their infrastructure and start thinking like broadcasters, are the ones who will capture the next wave of consumer attention.
It really redefines how we think about the physical spaces we walk through every day. Whether you are managing a handful of screens in a local chain or thousands of displays across a global enterprise, the key is control without complexity. No heavy hardware, just smart deployment. For anyone looking to rethink their physical footprint, the tools to transform those blank walls into active channels are already right in front of them. Thank you for sharing these insights today.
Thanks for having me.